Hello everyone, welcome on your YouTube channel of Lalbagh Girls Into College. This is Jyoti Singh. Class 11th, as we have started with the anatomy portion in flowering plants, we have seen its morphology, its morphological features. We are now studying its anatomy portion, anatomical features. We have seen the simple and complex type of tissues. Now we are moving with the tissue system, in which we will see how many types we can divide the tissue system. So let's learn about the tissue system.
So children, we will learn about tissue systems, mainly the epidermal tissue system. So let's start. We have already learned a lot about different kinds of tissues. Now let's learn about tissue systems. A tissue system is a group of tissues performing a common function irrespective of their position. On the basis of their structure and location, there are three types of tissues system. The first one is the epidermal or the dermal tissue system. Second is the vascular or the conducting system, and the third is the ground or the fundamental tissue system. So epidermal tissue system form outermost covering of the primary plant body and consist of epidermis, stomata and the epidermal outgrowths. Whereas we will learn about these structure later in this part or videos. So vascular conducting system, xylem and the food conducting system. Here in this picture you can see the vascular tissue is shown in a violet color. The vascular tissue system form a continuous system that spreads in roots, leaves, stems and etc. and act as a continuous channel for the conduction of water, minerals, elements and prepared food. So the ground or the fundamental tissue system consists of various types of tissues except the epidermal and the vascular tissues. In this video, we will learn more about the epidermal or the dermal tissue system. As I mentioned earlier, the epidermal tissue system forms the outermost covering of the whole plant body, just like our skin. Actually, epi means upper and derma means skin. So epidermal tissue system comprises of epidermis, stomata and the epidermal outgrowths or appendages. The epidermis forms the primary plant body. It forms the boundary between the plant and the external environment basically. So epidermis protects the plant from pathogens and mechanical injury. It is made up of basically arranged living parenchymatous cells and constituting a continuous layer without any space. So epidermal cells are more or less tubular, which means horizontal, elongated. In a cross-sectional view, they have a small amount of protoplasm and a large central vacuole. The wall of the epidermal cells of the aerial plant parts, that is all plant parts except roots, contain deposition of cutin, and cutin forms a covering on the epidermal called cuticle. Here you can see in this picture, the cuticle is a protective layer which minimizes water loss. And now just think about the cacti. Plants growing in a dry habitats like desert to reduce water loss. These plants have very thick cuticle, and cuticle is highly resistant to microbial attack also. Sometimes cuticle contains waxes. This wax also protects the plant in dry conditions, and wax is present on the upper surface of the floating leaves. For example, the wax is present on the floating leaves of the lotus plant, protect them from wetting. Epidermal cells of some plants, for example some grasses, possess a deposition of silica. This provides stiffness and the roughness to the plant parts. This makes them protective against grazing by herbivores. Now let's learn about stomata. At some places in the epidermis, you can see minute openings or gaseous exchange pores are present. These minute openings or pores are called stomata. A single pore is called stoma or stomatal pore. During photosynthesis, plants take in carbon dioxide and give out oxygen through these stomata. Water vapor also escapes through stomata during transpiration. You may also know these stomata are present in the leaves, which are the photosynthetic organs of the plant. But actually you can find stomata in the epidermis of all green plant parts, that is in the leaves as well as in the young stems. But of course they are not abundant in the leaves. Typically leaves have 100 to 500 stomata per square millimeter. Now let me ask you a question. Consider this. Leaf, it has a upper surface and a lower surface. Where do you think stomata can be? So found it abundance, upper surface or lower surface? If you can guess the answer, then type it in the comment box below. Also, don't forget to tell us what do you think. Each stomata is surrounded by a pair of chloroplasts containing kidney shaped cells called the guard cells. Here you can see in this picture. And other epidermis cells don't have chloroplasts. The guard cell regulate the opening and the closing of the stomata and thereby control the movement of gases including water vapors into and out of these plant parts. In some monocots, and the guard cells are double shaped, and sometimes a few epidermal cells surrounding the guard cell become specialized in their shape and the size. They are called subsidiary cells. The stoma or the stomatopore in guard cells.